New York Comic Con has a very special place in my heart.
Every year I look forward to Comic Con. The community is awesome. People are super friendly. It's like
you can just be yourself.
It's very exciting to see other people express something special. I mean, I feel like we kind of speak
It
common
took a while
language
before I
here.
realized that I wasn't alone in the world.
It's 100 worlds in one.
It's just home.
Courtney Taylor, that's Mozhan Marno, Dr. Cyber and Poison, hand-in-hand villains.
That's right.
Come in, you're going to talk to this crowd for some time.
Fantastic.
They're great people who live to like you.
That's right.
Blacklist. Yeah. Oh, you're terrific. You were terrific on that show. Yes, Blacklist. I'm gonna miss her.
What happens now?
It's a round table. They yell
so-
stuff at us.
so that's basically
it's
how
like
it
speed dating. They yell at us.
and
Yeah,
we cry.
exactly.
So
You just
talk
free
about-
associate. Like,
So talk
banana
about how
peel.
you approach these two ladies.
Read the script and then I show up and I decide what kind of a person she is based on what I've read and also what the director says. So it's pretty much like any other thing.
So do you know anything about her? I'm sorry.
That's right.
Just in conversation with the director.
I booked it not far in advance, so I brought sort of the things that I normally bring to someone who's a bad character, sort of leaning on what sort of regret or pain that they may have had to bring some humanity to them, which I quite like her, so it's fun.
So who are these people? That's what I'm curious about. Who are these characters? I mean,
Dr. Poison is, I think, somebody who is very bright, and she is. I mean, I'm hoping for some origin story, but my take on her was that she's deeply injured, through many of the circumstances that, we all are sort of familiar with her lore, but I wanted to play her as less of like a one-dimensional character, give her some sadness and some grief mixed in with being too smart to do good things. Too much leeway of chemistry.
Did you lean on any previous iterations of your characters to really try and understand them more before going in, or you just kind of relied on the script that was given?
That was my approach.
Yeah.
And I've seen the Wonder Woman life, but not for my specific.
And she's Dr. Poison is really different in there's been sort of many iterations of her. So I had worked with the director Wes Gleason before. We have sort of a shorthand because we worked together for a long time. So I knew that he was going to be able to kind of guide me into what version that they wanted of this one. So it was a safe space. And I got to work alongside Cree Summer, so it was nice to also see what she was bringing to the character. We so rarely get to work with another person, so it was really fun to kind of see how she was playing things, and also she and I have some similar voice print, so to kind of try and move away from that too. There's a lot of things that once you get into the booth, things change really quickly, so you're like, oh, and they're like, oh, you sound too much like somebody else, or this is sort of the domain of a different character, so it's good to be light on your feet.
How'd you guys work around that then to differentiate yourselves?
Well, she's Wonder Woman's mom, so she's a badass, but in a much more pure way, I think. And I got to make mean evil choices, so it was good. Like, I did try and soften her voice a little bit, because when Cree Summer does something, you're just like, you can have it. I'll just do this over here.
From a villain's perspective, but what do you guys feel about the Wonder Woman character nowadays? is and where she's going from where she went.
I'm super excited about her. I voiced Wonder Woman in a Justice League Heroes, and I was like, I had to say, like, let's just wait for Superman, and I was like, no, I don't want her to wait for Superman. I want her to. And so I feel like she's definitely. We were just talking about how important these stories are being played out, not as ancillary characters, but as front and center. That you can have these comic books and full-length movies and animated projects that are filtered through a woman's lens, and have it be just as exciting, if not more so, because we haven't seen those stories as much. So I'm all for it.
What made you want to make the jump from prestige dramas like Blacklist and House of Cards to
He's talking to me.
Yeah.
I got this.
I was like, wait, when was I on Blacklist?
I got a phone call, and I had worked with the director before on a video game, and he had reached out to me.
And I loved it so much. You were like, anything for them.
Anything for them.
And then you knew you were going to meet me, so we're the whole thing.
That's right. How could I forget?
I know. She gets nervous.
So, yeah, they just asked if I wanted to be a part of this, and it seemed like a really cool project, and who wouldn't want to be in a Wonder Woman animation? It seemed really fun.
So you're not going back to on camera, is what you're saying?
Yeah, just giving it up.
Pretty much. You know what? Once they come over to the voice side, they never go back.
These are the exposés we're getting.
Exactly. You heard it right here. She's done. We get to keep her.
So how do you look back on the Blacklist and that experience? Her art was pretty amazing.
It's changed my life. It was a great experience. It was 5 years living with a character and watching it. I think, they start to write for you, right? They have an idea when they start, and then you kind of do their thing, and then they see what you're bringing, and then they do your thing. So it's kind of fun to watch writers bend a character to you. It's fun.
Yeah, playing her with the disease and all that. That was really interesting stuff.
What's your history with the Wonder Woman character? Were you a fan growing up or watching any of the stuff?
We were just talking about the Linda Carter show, and that was the thing I watched. That was my relationship with Wonder Woman. I think when you're a kid, you don't really know why you like the things you like, or why you kind of lean into the things you're leaning into. And I think now, then you look back on it and you ascribe some meaning to it. And I think, like we were just talking about, when you can see yourself in a character, then it's a little bit more exciting, right? It's a little bit more like those things are possible for you if it's, if you're a girl and there's like a really strong woman in the lead who's not sort of ancillary to any kind of male role. So before you understand why that's important, you just feel it's important, right?
We were talking about watching the movie and how a lot of times when I'm watching superhero things, I find that the fight scenes go on, and I start to find myself tuning out a little bit. And I paid so much, like, Wonder Woman was kind of a breeze. Like, I was into it the whole time. I didn't have that kind of like checking out thing. And I was thinking, oh, this is what it must be like to be a man and watch these things, because you do have that thing where you're like, oh, that could be me. And I think it's a totally different experience for a little girl especially, to be looking at someone who is grown and not your gender, and be trying to fit your psyche around that. And so to have grown up with Wonder Woman, I think when I was a little kid, I thought Linda Carter was just beautiful and glamorous, and I just loved all the shiny things. But as I'm older, looking at that, there is this wonderful, like, the stories are so much richer now. Like, you go back and you watch it, Wonder Woman from back then, and you're like, not so rich on the storyline. But it's just about the visual, a lot of it. And now there's these amazing stories in video games and comics and movies where not only can little girls look at these things and feel empowered, but little boys can look at these things and feel empowered, and also understand that there's parity and that and what strong, real flesh and blood women look like and are capable of. So I think it's a really amazing thing for our society to have that opportunity, and also behind, not just in front of the camera, in front of the mic, but to see a lot more women writing games and movies. It's really exciting.
Come with me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Etta and Courtney Taylor are doctors.
Hello.
Poison and cyber. Ask as many medical questions you want.
That's right, but I will not write a prescription.
No.
At least not for anything you want.
So you're playing sort of evil characters.
Yeah. What is evil?
Well, exactly. So did you enjoy the sort of the darker side of your characters?
Yes, it's super fun to play evil characters because there's just a lot of latitude. You can kind of be bananas and it's allowed, right? You're manipulative, you're possessive, you're power hungry, or whatever it is. It's all the shades of a character that you don't usually get to play with such abandon into such extremes because it's animation, right?
And you can work in all the other stuff that you'd expect from another character, like from a heroine, that once you put those things in for an evil character, people are like, oh, I relate to that, that's so weird, so you get all the colors of the rainbow, where the heroine oftentimes, I think the juxtaposition is what makes characters great. The heroine who has flaws, the villain who has humanity. Those are the things that we want to see because we all sort of walk that razor's edge, some more than others.
But you don't really view them as evil, do you?
That's a really good question. I think that's right. I mean, if you're supposed to play any kind of character, you can't be judging them, right? And so you have to figure out the logic of that person's desires and their world, and that whatever they want, if objectively it seems evil to them, obviously it doesn't. It seems right. It seems necessary, and like it makes sense in the order of their private world, right? So you have to find that logic, and then it's not evil.
That's those stakes. We all have something that if it happened, you would do something bad.
I don't even think it would be that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be right, but everyone has that capability. So you just have to figure out what the stakes are for your character, because whatever it is what turned them, and it could be something that happened to you as a kid. It could be something that you hold dear, being threatened. Those things are, you just have to kind of hook into that, and then it's not a bad person. It's a person under bad circumstances doing what they think is
very
necessary.
intense needs.
Mm-hmm.
So what is evil to you guys? Can you answer that?
In general?
In general, yeah. Just spinning that question.
I think it's a lack of empathy. I mean, I think it's sociopathy, right? If you can't empathize with another person and you have no sense of harming them, then that's maybe not evil. That's being a sociopath, right?
Yes, but that creates
that's
evil
a condition.
circumstances.
It creates evil behavior, I would say. So I think it's sociopathy.
I will say, anyone that hurts animals, in a nutshell.
I don't understand the animal people. My boyfriend is one of them. It's like,
wait,
if it's animals, it's worse than people. I don't get it.
Well, because there's a this is why.
More innocent.
Because we are their stewards in so many situations. They give. We're going to get real deep here for a second.
But what
so I
about
went
babies?
to the psychic.
Don't say like babies.
Well, people get upset about babies too. They're in the hierarchy as well. Well, I have dogs, not babies.
But if I said people who hurt babies,
yes, anybody that is.
Okay, I want to hear about the psychic.
We're supposed to. So the psychic said that my dog came back as. Now I'm going super weird.
Okay.
Right? But that dogs come back as like higher beings because they are domesticated and they have to rely on us, and they kind of give it up to us to take care of them, and that is the closest to like a higher being is to give that kind of trust, right? So I don't know why I said that, but
It's beautiful though. I love
but it's
dogs.
true,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's the thing when we're the steward of like animals on this planet, and so if you are messing with that, then you are
A bad.
mammoth. Yeah, I'm very heated about stuff like that, but that's not what this interview is.
So what did you pull on for the evil? I mean, what did you tap into for the evil in your characters? What did you sort of think of when you were performing?
For me, I thought Dr. Poison seems very. She's in a lot of pain, physically.
Yes.
For sure, and also there. For some reason, and I don't even know why it spoke to me, but like a lot of regret that she can't she can't process.
Yes.
So both the physical, the exterior, and the interior pain.
Yes. What about yourself?
I think now that I'm actually, I started this day not remembering what I did, and the more questions I get, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that day, and I remember what we did. This was a while ago. It was like over a year ago.
Yeah.
I think that my character, my approach was to be tickled by things that other people might find gruesome. So, to find joy
in horror,
in giving people pain. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. We got one more question from somebody. Anyone?
I did. I mean, I watched the movie. I have read some of the comic books, but she's so different in different mediums that I didn't know what exactly they wanted to bring. I had worked with this director before, so I knew. No, so rarely do they. It's a whole different bag for doing voice work. You don't get all the good juicy pep time and stuff like that. So you get the script and then you get a great director and mix it up.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much.